Anthony William, the medical medium. The people that are in the medical medium community, not everybody, but a large amount of people in the community, they have decades of experience, decades of being sick, decades of struggles, decades of seeing everything out there, every trend, every single fad, and they've tried it. They've tried it all. A lot of people in the medical medium community, they've been eaten up by Lyme disease, by all the protocols out there, all the different heavy medications, all the different stuff and the, fads and trends with dangerous supplementation and problems and chlorine dioxide and everything. They've tried the water machines, the ionizer water machines. They've tried all the different therapies, and they know when they found medical medium, like, oh my God, like this makes sense, and the dots connect here. Like, that's me. That's what I've been through. That's my life. And this information makes sense. And it's connecting all the dots to their own life experiences. Like, wow, I've been sick all these years. This is why I'm sick. I found the information. And when they find the information, they start healing and getting a symptom better and then another symptom better. It's like the heavens open up and that light starts coming down. And then it hits them in their soul that this is the truth. It hits them in their soul, deep in their soul. And oh my God, I found answers. And the people in the medical medium community, they're no joke. They're really seasoned, and people don't know, a lot of people don't know out there in the world what that means by seasoned. That means they've watched, just in the last 10 years with medical medium books and information, they've watched people cycle through all the trends out there and all the fads and get injured. They've watched medical mediums stay consistent. They've watched the information be consistent, not contradictive. They don't jump on those bandwagons, but they've tried them. They know that medical medium doesn't jump on those bandwagons. And they know that medical medium's not going to be like, okay, suddenly go cold plunge. Suddenly you should be drinking out of those toxic ionizer machines. Suddenly you should be doing this or that. And then, oops, made a mistake. Oops, sorry, made a mistake. You know how many people just 5 years ago were like, here's what you should be doing on this and this and this. And all of a sudden they're now backing away like, oops. We shouldn't have told all those people. It's unbelievable what's happened. And I've stood up against so many different trends and have gotten so much crap about it over the years. And it's angered a lot of people out there. It's angered a lot of industries. It's angered a lot of influencers who are banking and trying to make tons of money on things. And my job is to message information to protect people. And that's what it's been. And people who are in the community know this because they've seen it all and they've done everything. They were in a wheelchair. They got out of a wheelchair because of medical medium information. They know that it would be probably a really bad idea to do methylene blue. And by the way, that's a disaster. I'm going to talk about that at some point. They know it's a bad idea to do the whole, drink bleach, the whole chlorine dioxide, drink bleach. They know that that's not a good idea to do these things and so many other things. They know what a weakened nervous system, you don't sit in an ice bath for a long time. They know better. But then all these people who are all just green, the health influencers that got on the scene that are, spreading information, they're learning along the way, oops, that's not a good idea. Let me back out. Let me walk out of that one. It's like medical medium information is not contradictive. It stays steady. It's solid. And it's there for people. And the majority of the community are people who are experienced. I mean, they've tried so many different things. There's a lot of people in the community that have been down the Lyme disease road. They've been down the parasite road. Oh my God. It's so sad to see the parasite thing come back. Do 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there was a whole parasite movement. Nobody knew why anybody was sick. So they're like, oh, take this, swallow this, do this. You got parasites. It was all BS. People suffered from it, but came around again 25 years later. Oh, it's now parasites. Everybody's jumping on board parasites. It's actually really sad. And look at the whole fruit fear thing. If you've been around a little bit, even 15 years ago, no one was allowed to touch a piece of fruit. 20 years ago, no one was allowed to touch a piece of fruit. Anything to do with health on any level. They would say everything is caused by fruit. Fruit is, the devil. Fruit will actually kill you. Fruit will just rot your teeth. You shouldn't eat fruit. That was the health movement. And I fought it. I messaged the information. And now the carnivores are all eating fruit. Did you know I did the prediction about the carnivore people when they were only on meat? My prediction was, it was like, I don't know if it was 5 or 6 years ago. And I said, they're just going to bump into walls. These new influencers that are doing carnivore diet, they're going to bump into the wall and they're going to have to bring in lemon juice and then honey. And then they're going to have to bring in fruit. Guess what they all did? They brought lemon, honey, and all fruit in. And the people in the community know, because they know what I said before and they know that I predicted it. They know that I saw it. And they know they didn't have to go through it. They don't have to all of a sudden backtrack and go into carnivore without, fruit, just eat meat, then lose all their glycogen in their brain, hit the wall, lose their lives over it. There's women that have lost their lives over doing just carnivore only years ago. Disastrous. And so there's faith in the medical medium community. That's what it's called. It's called faith. Faith in the information, faith in the messages, faith in people healing. It's proven itself over and over again. You know why everybody, the influencers and everybody, they hate celery juice? Because they can't make any money off of it. They can't make any money off of it. They just can't. And because of that, they hate it and hate it and hate it. Do you think they want people running to a juice place, getting a celery juice? They want them instead buying all their shit, buying all their stuff. They want people buying all their parasite cleanses, all their things. They want them buying all their whatever. They don't want them going into a grocery store and buying a celery juice or making it themselves. They don't want that. So they've been attacking celery juice for years now, but yet it still literally reigns supreme out there. And people are like living by it. But yet you think the media would be talking about it every day. You think they would. You think everybody would. It's saving lives. But they don't talk about it because you can't make any money off of it. That's how the industries work. And the people in this community, they're solid. They have faith because they've seen it work. They know it's worked for them. They have decades of experience. And of course, hey, look, new people come into the communities, the medical medium communities, and they're like, look, I'm sick. I want to try this. Wow, this works. I'm healing. They may not have a lot of experience. So what? But yet there's so many people here where they know what's up. They've been there. They've done that. They've tried everything. And they're seasoned. Seasoned means they've tried so many different trends and fads. They were really sick. And they've been around to watch a few things. And they know the information hasn't contradicted itself. They know the information is solid. And they've seen the lives saved because of it. They have. And you're not allowed to heal a lot of people out there in the world. You're not allowed to have things that heal a lot of people. You're just not. The world is just not there yet. Because in the medical medium communities, more people and more stories and more people, they're not paid to put out a bogus little healing story. These are people who have good souls. They've been through everything. They want to speak the truth of their life and what has happened and how they've healed. And it's remarkable. It really is. And more people have healed doing medical medium information around the world than anything else out there. Just fact and truth. And the influencers that are trying to rise up, whether they're chiropractors, there's some kind of other doctor, or there's some kind of other person in health, nutritionists, or whatever they are, and they want to sell their courses, classes, programs, subscription fees, which Medical Medium doesn't sell any of that. There's none of that exists. It's all free. It's a charity. That's what it is. I scrounge up to find money wherever I can to do everything I can on a charity basis. And they want to sell their classes, courses, programs, their retreats. They want to sell all of that. And then they want to sell all of their stuff. And then they want to run ads to sell all of their stuff 24/7. And sure, that's fine. I'm not saying you can't do that or anybody can't do that. And someday I might have to do that. But the point is right now it's just all free still after all these years. Go to the library, get the book. And the Medical Medium podcast is also free. You don't get bombarded by commercials, by advertisers. There's no advertisers paying me at the Medical Medium podcast, like the other people who are getting paid $500,000 per advertiser. I'm not getting paid that. And I have a big podcast, and I'm not doing that. It doesn't exist at the Medical Medium podcast. It's there. It's free listening. It's not corrupted listening with all those different advertisers all built into it, all paying and making payouts and everything. And fine, they can do that. People can do that because that's the game. That's the game out there. What I do doesn't exist in the health world today. It's free, and it does not exist at all. It doesn't. And the people here at the Medical Medium communities and the Medical Medium communities have heart and soul. They've tried so much, and they've healed. And they got their hands on a book, and it spoke to them, and their lives were turned around. Their lives were turned around. And it's an organic movement around the world of people that tell somebody else and then tell somebody else. And like, listen, you should really try this before you get too sick. And then you should really try this. And yeah. And when I think about it, it's mind-blowing. But one thing that I can tell you is when you find this information, you don't get mangled. You don't get mangled by all the different trends recycling all over again and jumping into them. You don't go swallowing a whole bunch of charcoal. You don't get poisoned by the alkaline ionizer water machines with all the metals that come off of the plate that's electrified in the middle of the machine. You don't get poisoned by all these tinctures out there with all this alcohol and ethanol. People have no idea what's in those tinctures that are out there. You don't jump into ice baths with sensitive nervous systems. You don't do a whole bunch of clays. You don't do parasitical cleanses. You don't do water fasts for 2 weeks and don't realize it, but you're literally losing every bit of your glycogen in your brain. You don't do all the different stuff. You don't gobble down a pile of pearl powder, scratches up the inside of the lining of the intestinal tract. You don't swallow a bunch of fish oil and get methyl mercury in your system and in your brain without realizing it, and krill oil and everything else. Because that's what happened. People did all the krill oil, got all that like methyl mercury. You don't get all the natural flavors, which is all the MSG. Why do you think supplement and food companies and everything are all saying this now? It's because of Medical Medium. They're saying, oh, our natural flavors doesn't have MSG. Oh, really? Yes, it does. But they're saying that because everybody's like gotten wise to it from Info. You don't swallow a bunch of citric acid. And you don't do chlorine dioxide, which is you don't swallow bleach because you don't need to heal. And the Medical Medium information stops people from getting mangled. But all the influencers out there are trying to create the next new product out of every bit of all those things and more. And then in 2 years, 3 years, it comes out. Oops. Oop, and a whole bunch of people get mangled. And this information's been solid. It's been there for a long time. And it's really miraculous, the fact that it has. Because, I had to fight my whole life to get it to everybody. and, receive this information and look out for people. People have built a lot of faith in the medical medium information because of these reasons. Because of these reasons and so many more reasons around that. I mean, who would come and want help from me when there's 1 million people in the health movement right now that you can go get help from? 1 million right now. Everybody's trying to sell protein. Then they're trying to sell collagen. Then they're trying to sell, and then they try to sell a course and a class and this and that, subscription fee. There's 1 million people you can get help from or try to get help from. Why would this be the biggest healing community in the world? Why are people even here? It's because they like me? I doubt that. They like how I dress? They like how I act? I doubt that. It's not why they're here. They're here because the medical medium information is timeless. It stands the test of time. It's steadfast, doesn't contradict. And you guys know that, and the people in the communities know that. They know. And they know they're not going to get mangled in the games. And it has the street cred. I've said that for years, and it has the street cred. First for Women said it's the most popular heavy metal detox there is in the world because they know it works. They know it works. There's a reason for that, and it is out there. And people wouldn't even be talking about heavy metals if it wasn't for medical medium information. That's how stupid the whole thing is, really, in the end. I think that one thing I can say, is that I always have to say to anyone that I meet or talk to, I always have to say that people in the community have respect for them because they have seen it. They know what's up. They know what strife is. They know what struggle really is. They've been really sick. And I notice every time I talk to somebody, some person in the health movement that reaches out to me or something, and they're asking me questions like, how do you do it? How do you do it? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I say, do you understand what any of this really is? These are people that actually suffered and are suffering now because they're in the process of working on their healing. These are people that suffered. The medical medium community is like people that literally have suffered and suffered greatly. This isn't like Joker, influencer, USA crap, where everybody's trying to hawk something or peddle something or carpetbag something. It's insane. They don't even have a clue unless they get really sick someday. And they're on their hands and knees and they're like, oops, I guess that fulvic acid minerals don't work. Oops, I guess neem oil doesn't work. Oops, I guess chlorophyll in bottles don't work. Oops, I guess charcoal doesn't work. Oops, I guess swallowing bleach doesn't work. Oops, I shouldn't have cold plunged one last time. Oops, I shouldn't have done that therapy one last time. And they start just waking up as they're on the floor going, dear God, I think I'm dying. And then they'll realize, wait a minute, medical medium information, look, it protects people. It's not letting people get mangled in the machine. It's unbelievable. Medical medium information was the first to say autism, ADHD is toxic heavy metals. And now information's taken worldwide. So I think the people in the medical medium community have seen this. They've seen the information get proven right out there every day. Stolen and poached, proven right, though, every single day. Just like the cause of multiple sclerosis is Epstein-Barr. That was medical medium information, and they stole that too. And then someone's going to just hear that right now probably and be like, well, why does he need to get credit for that? Are you kidding? It's not that I need to get credit. It's to help people get all the information so they can heal. Just putting a an article out there about how EBV is the cause of MS isn't going to help a lot of people unless they know how to destroy the EBV and actually do the healing they need to do. And people, and you know what? It is a credential, it is credibility. Well, medical medium did know that Epstein-Barr caused multiple sclerosis first before Harvard did. So yeah, so that is credibility. It is credibility. But most importantly, and most seriously, is if I had MS and I read something that EBV caused it, but had nothing else to do for it or didn't know what to do, and and then I was sick for another 10 years in a wheelchair because I couldn't get the answers. I mean, how sad is that? Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say a couple of things, and that's why I hopped here on Telegram. The first thing is I'm proud of everybody. And I know how hard you worked and what you've been through in your life. And even me, I still don't know exactly what it's like to be in your shoes if you were that sick and you were that bad off and on Mattress Island every day. I could only try with everything I have to get into that space. Everything I have. And since I was younger. But I can just tell you I'm proud of you. Okay. And anybody who's not that sick, you just found this information or you found this telegram for some reason and you're listening. I care about your journey too. And I care about what you're doing and how your healing process is going. To anybody. Anyway, you guys, hope all is well in your lives with the best that you have going on, the best things in life. Did you listen to the different podcast episodes I put out? Free, no advertising podcast episodes? Like the stick breaking episode, which I love doing that. Love that one. The breaking twigs. Love that one. And did you hear the Angel podcast I just released? Yeah. Anyway. Lots of love, many blessings. God bless you.